Can someone celebrate? You hear my hands clapping. Episode 400, baby. Excited for this. I tell you, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I just had a couple of things I had to take care of today, and then I wanted to run here to the studio because I did not get a chance to be able to record earlier this morning. Dad things, coaching, all these things. So I want to tell you the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. I promise it won't let you down. But I woke up this morning and I was like, why do I have to wait? Like, that's the whole question was, why do I have to wait? And God kept giving me faith to faith, glory to glory, faith to faith, glory to glory. And I was like, I hear you, but I ain't trying to go faith to faith, glory to glory. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have the glory right now. Like, you show me visions. This is what God does to me. He shows me a vision, and I get super excited about it, and then I get in a rush. If you know me like my brother Rob, I love you. If you know me like my buddy Will, I love you. But you also know that I get in a rush, and I don't want to wait. And so I kept asking God, why do I need to wait? Because he woke me up this morning, faith to faith, glory to glory, faith to faith, glory to glory. And it's amazing because when I jumped into Proverbs 27, the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day, this 3,000-year-old wisdom, I thought I was going to be able to get off on a technicality because there's no way that he could answer why I need to wait from 3,000 years ago. But just like every single day, corresponding proverb, corresponding day, never disappoints, and he answered the question. So let's get this party started. Oh, there were some technical difficulties there. So technology works until it doesn't. So I'm supposed to run a commercial, but I guess what I'm supposed to do is just stay here with you. Proverbs 27, the corresponding proverb, corresponding day. Why do I have to wait? I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation. Maybe you guys are all perfect. I'm the imperfect one. And I've ran into this so often. I get in a rush. I want the thing to happen now. And I ask this question. So in Proverbs 27, right off the bat, he starts with fire. I'm reading from the NIV, New International Version, but if you're reading the King James, I like the King James. It's very Shakespearean. But in verse 1, it said, he said, I know things you don't. And I was like, man. So he hit me with this. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what the day will bring. In verse number 5, he hit me again. Better is an open rebuke than hidden love. And he was letting me know that I know things that you don't. In verse number 6, it says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. I know things that you don't. And what he was letting me know is that there's some things that could be dangerous down the line, and if you get in a rush, my timing is perfect. In verse number 12, it says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Prudent just means you have thought of the future. Sometimes I don't have thought of the future because I do not want to wait. Number 2, the reward is so much better if you wait. Now, I would argue this because I think when I want something, I want it now. But every time that I sit in and I wait, watch this. In verse number 2, it says, let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Probably one of the greatest things that you could do is allow your actions and the things that you do to be noticed by others and to be shouted at the rooftops than the person that's standing back saying, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. That's why I always say to people, I love when my friends win. What it does is it helps to diffuse people, and it helps people to realize that it's okay for you to succeed around here because I love when my friends win. In verse number 8 also, like a bird that flees its nest is anyone who flees from home. And what God is saying is just like, I'm home. Like, I am your home. Don't flee from me. Don't worry about the praise. Just do the work and let somebody else do all the praising. Number 3, why do I have to wait? He said, stop listening to foolish people. Because a lot of times a foolish person will tell you like, oh, you need to get this, you need to get that, you need to get your credit. And what God is saying is in verse number 3, stop listening to foolish people. Stone is heavy and sand is a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than them both. Stop listening to foolish people. Number 4, comparison is the thief of joy. My brother says this all the time, and I run into it. I don't know if you guys ever compare yourself or compare your situations or anything like that, but if you get the chance to read The Psychology of Money, this guy, Morgan Housel, incredible. If you hear of him, hit him on Instagram and tell him he needs to be on the podcast. I've reached out to him, but he hasn't responded yet. But in verse number 4, it says, anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Let me say it again. Anger is cruel and fury is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Jealousy is probably one of the most powerful things that if we don't get under control, it can really bring us down. And these are things that I've struggled with in the past. And when I get in a rush, most of the time is because I'm comparing myself to somebody else or somebody else's situation. Number 5 is I want you to stay hungry for my wisdom. When I was asking God, why do I need to wait? Because I want you to stay hungry for my wisdom. His wisdom is the right use of knowledge. How do we get it? Through the fear of God or the respect of him. How do we do that? By just spending time with him. But he wants us to be able to spend time with him as opposed to relying on our own wisdom. And so in verse number 7, it says, one who is full loathes honey from the comb, but to the hungry, even the bitter tastes sweet. And what he was saying is just slow down and hunger and thirst for spiritual things as opposed to things that will feed your flesh. Because if you hunger and thirst for things that feed your spirit, it will give you wisdom to be able to feed your body and your physical side. And in verse number 11, it says, be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, and I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt, and then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. How are you wise? By just seeking wisdom. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge, and where do we get it? From the fear of God. In verse number 18, it says, the one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruit, and whoever protects their master will be honored. Seek wisdom. This is what my mom said all the time. Seek wisdom, seek wisdom, seek wisdom, and then, son, guard your heart. Guard your heart at all costs. Number 6, when I said, why do I have to wait, is friends breathe life into you. And you'll understand who a true friend is. A Greg Reed, a James Dixon, a Rob Cardenas, a Dave Jansen, a Will Simmons, a Andrew Pike, a Alfred Johnson, a DeAndre Wiley, a Nate, Paula. I think of all these friends that I have that constantly breathe life into me, and they all help me to realize that I don't need to be in a rush for anything. Verse number 9, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from heartfelt advice. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Number 10, do not forsake your friend or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. Be a great friend, and great friends will be around you. Number 17, iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Friends breathe life into you, and generally they bring you the advice to be able to slow down. And so the next one, when I said, why do I have to wait? God answered and said, I don't want you to be in debt. I do not want you to be in debt. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger, hold it in a pledge if it is done for an outsider. Stay out of debt, stay out of debt, stay out of debt. When debt is looming, it is probably one of the most crushing things that you can have in your life. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are the human eyes. Number 20, stay out of debt. And whether that be financial debt or that be relational debt, any type of debt where you owe anybody except for the Lord your time, your energy, your money, then you'll start acting out of character. I don't want you to be in debt. Number 8 is my timing is flawless. He constantly tells me this when I say, why do I have to wait? He says, if anyone loudly blesses their neighbor too early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. He said, my timing is flawless, and I want to teach you my timing, but we got to spend time together. The next one is, I want your heart to be right. In verse 19, it says, a water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. And he wants our heart to be right, not just our results. In verse number 22, though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them. Whatever is in your heart has been ingrained. Be conscious. My mom said, seek wisdom and always guard your heart as often as possible. Number 10 is, I want you to be humble. And this is verse number 21. The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold. I think this is the most important verse of the whole entire proverb. The crucible for silver, the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. Sit in that for a second. When you're praised, how do you act? And what God is saying is, I want you to be humble. I said, why do I have to wait? He said, because I want you to be humble. He finishes it off in verse 23 through 27. Watch this, where we started. I know things that you don't know. Why do I have to wait? Because I know things that you don't know. And then he ended it with, my ways are above your ways. In verse number 23, be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secure for all generations. When the hay is removed and the new growth appears, and the grass from the hills is gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants. His ways are above our ways, and he knows the things that are coming. So why do I have to wait? Because he knows things I don't. His ways are above my ways, but let's run them down really fast. So why do I have to wait, Lord? Look at this. I know things that you don't. My reward, the reward is sweeter when you do. Stop listening to foolish people. Comparison is the thief of joy. I want you to stay hungry for my wisdom. Friends breathe life into you. I don't want you to be in debt. My timing is flawless. I want your heart to be right. I want you to be humble, and my ways are above your ways. It's amazing how when we start reading the word, then the word starts reading us. The corresponding proverb for the corresponding day, 3,000-year-old wisdom that could be applicable in your leadership, your culture, your systems, your relationships, and all of your life. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is the 400th episode, and you guys have been rocking with me, and I absolutely appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click the link, do that, and we will continue on with the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day, 3,000-year-old wisdom that never disappoints. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.